It's your boy OGP. Got my man Margarine, aka Butters, aka whatever you want to call him, but it's the next best thing, best to slice bread. It's your boys on in this very ring. I was about to say birds of a feather in the ring, bitch. You already know what it is. Platform A2D, Friday night, 3 days before Christmas. Get your shopping in. We're gonna talk some wrestling, maybe a little Iron Claw. Let's go.
What's up, my family? Listen, first time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
You already know what it is. Birds of a feather. God, I'm about to do it again. What the fuck?
Damn it, Pete.
Bro, it's just all this last minute shopping and trying to get that done, trying to be with your family, your loved ones, trying to make sure everybody's happy with the gift that you give them. But really, it's just about
Everybody happy for the holidays?
yeah, but it's really just about, man, just trying to be there for your family, you know? So a lot of times this time of year is tough for loved ones, you know what I mean? It's tough for families. So, but if you are here with us, if you're going to catch us on the replay, first and foremost, want to get this out the way. We're on the platform A2D. You can like, share, subscribe everywhere. That's on all platforms, anywhere you could digest your streaming media. We are brought to you by Alonzi Travel, specializing in creating the vacation of your dreams at Disney Universe, wherever your heart calls you. Let the talented team of travel experts create a custom vacation just for you. As you can see, we're coming live from my living room. Butters is, I don't know where he's at. I love the drapes behind him, but
I'm in my bedroom, fool.
okay. Tonight's poll question is the MJF / Devil storyline has run its course. Is this the AEW's version of the bloodline? Is this where we are now getting our
AEW's version of Bailey Sasha?
It's so agree or disagree. Probably be a little short and condensed show. You know, as we know, SmackDown was taped this week, so we'll get into the poll. We'll have a discussion about that, and then we'll get into this week of wrestling and a little running. So
NXT was taped too, by the way.
Yes, it was. I mean, it makes sense. Trips he wanted to get the people the time off. They deserve it. They bust their ass 51 weeks out of the year.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, so it's a little bit different change of pace of what Vince used to do, as the talent probably has welcomed this. But so we already got one disagree for coming in hot from the chat. Dynasty 215 says he disagrees. It's just getting started, and I'll explain as we go. If you would have asked me this question probably 2 to 3 weeks ago, I would agree to the poll. But I'm going to disagree. And the reason why is because they are giving us more and more every week. Now we're not getting just the run-ins in the back. We're not just getting somebody being taken out in the back off screen. Now we're getting people coming from all angles live on the spot, lights going out. Being surprised, lights going out again, nobody's there. So they're adding more to it. They're giving us more layers to it. Obviously, I think somebody who wants to see the reveal, but here's the thing, like we always said this about, we always talk about Roman all the time and dropping the belt. When you drop it or when you reveal who the devil is, what is the next steps after that? So that's why it's so key to be honest with you, right? TK may not know who he wants to put as the devil that's being revealed. There could be a lot of different parts at the play, but as long as they keep, for me personally, as long as they keep giving me something different and they keep elevating and it makes sense on it, then I'm with it. Then I disagree to the poll. I'm still here for it. I'm gonna let you go, and then I'll double back at this. There's something else that happened on Wednesday Night Dynamite that led me to also disagree to the poll.
Okay.
Let's say,
you know, earlier today, as I'm writing this, and by the way, this is from our boy Ritz, who is, you know, gladly on vacation this week.
Happy belated birthday to him.
Yes, happy belated birthday. But if you would have asked me earlier in the day, before I was writing the show, I would totally agree to the poll. You know, it's run its course. But then as I'm writing the show, I'm looking back at the Devils the storyline from when it started, which was only in September, by the way, only little under, just almost 3 months. Into September 27th, I think is when it all pretty much started with the Devil attacking, the goons, so to speak, and then starting to attack the friends week after week. And I'm going, the storyline, it feels dragged on, but it's only been 3 months. If that. So it's like, could we go a little longer? Yes. To Pete's point, I can agree to that because you're giving me more and more each week. Yes, at the same time, it's like I'm anticipating I want something to happen. I'm kind of hoping at World's End we see something happen. But at the same time, give me something a little more. Give me a little more interaction between MJF and the Devil. You don't have to, try to demask him. Give me some personal interaction, not a TV versus a ring thing. Give me a run-in, something.
Yeah, I can see that, but that's where I think we're starting to go with it. They're starting to get a little more creative because now you're seeing the Devil supposedly and MJF in the same spot, and they are having that interaction. To where before it was just kind of runs, and he was never in the same place at the same time. So it kind of just made it seem a little off. He had someone behind it, but the one intricacy I wanted to get to, right, and it really has nothing to do with MJF involved with the Devil, but it's really with Samoa Joe. Remember, Samoa Joe before their match at what was the main event that they had? It was right after All In. It was September pay-per-view or October pay-per-view they had?
It was October.
And
it was MJF and Jay White, I think.
No, not when MJF defended. What was it? The Dynamites they do in it was Dynamite Grand Slam, right? Remember it was Samoa Joe. It was Samoa Joe versus MJF, and he said I'm gonna beat you with a wrestling move or something. Whatever he said he was gonna do, I forget the finish of the match. But remember, at all, was it All In, or maybe the people the buy-in before, where Samoa Joe was offering to accept his and trying to help MJF and be the ROH Tag Team Champion, right, and defend those titles. So now you get this whole challenge now, and then you get Samoa Joe snatching the mic. This is after all the physical altercation shit, right? After all that, you get him snatching the mic from MJF and say, "We accept." So you see like that little, and they still have that World's End pay-per-view, which is next Saturday, right? Yeah. But now you get this evolution of where MJF was reluctant to accept help now, and now he's being stepped over by Samoa Joe and accepted for a title that really Samoa Joe is just there as an interim half of the tag team champions. So stuff like that, you know what I mean? So that's where I feel like they could do more. So I do agree with, I think it was Anthony Adis. He says, personally, the Devil gimmick could be a lot better than it is. It could be. And I think they really are dragging this out. Now, this is the thing we have to look at because we all said from the beginning that we think it's going to be Cole. We think this was built for Cole, his turn, but Cole got hurt. So now they kind of have to drag this thing out. And at first it felt like they were just kind of throwing it there, and maybe mailing it in a little bit, where now they can see an opportunity to where they can really, really make this something, right? So I definitely disagree to the poll because they have given us more. And I said about 2 or 3 weeks ago, you can see even from you just today, less than 12 hours ago, you would have laid differently on this, right? So you can kind of see the evolution of it, how the thought process works. And I mean, I like the direction it's going. I actually this is probably the first Dynamite I watched from start to finish, probably in about a good month. A good month. So, and I was pleasantly surprised at the cohesion of the storyline, where we're going with certain things, and things made sense, and things aren't just being thrown away. Things are getting origin points now have an end, and then they come back to the origin point and they're tying everything in together, right? And you can kind of see that they've always kind of done that with the top storylines, but I really think they hit a change when we talk about the Swerve and Hangman storyline. How they work that in with Hangman, with Swerve going into the house, that type of stuff, that intel, that in-depth storytelling we hadn't seen before, right? So now you can kind of see that carrying on. I mean, I know we'll get to the Continental Classic, things of that nature, but from that standpoint, from the poll, I definitely like it. I mean, I like the comments we're seeing. I don't think I've seen one agree yet. so far in the chat. What's up, Millie? So Anthony Ada says, I like to give it, but it seems every week all different people are wearing black and attack MJF and Joe. 1 week the guys are jacked, and 1 week they're skinnies up. I mean, that's it, because I don't think they're all hired guns, right? They're all hired mercenaries in a sense, right? They're probably from city to city, just getting independent talent to fill those shoes. If you did, now here's the thing, Anthony, if you did start to see cohesion within the mass Devils, then I think it could be something. It can ultimately end up being something bigger, right? But who do we outside of the poll, fam? Keep let us know if you agree with the poll. We'll put the poll up one more time. So our poll question for tonight is the MJF Devil storyline in AEW, has it run its course? Agree or disagree? Just let us know. But I want to transition to who is the Devil. Who do we think the Devil is? Who do you think the Devil is, Mr. Mayor of Toasty Town, in his never-ending term?
In the I almost want to say, just for shiggles and gets, Britt Baker.
Okay.
Just that little bit of what do you call it? Surprise factor, because everybody's, it's Adam Cole, it's MJF, it's MJF could be pulling that swerve, but then again, I don't see it. Adam Cole, the way they're pulling it, like you mentioned earlier, they're just waiting for Adam to get better, and then boom, I'm the Devil. Been the Devil the whole time. But what if it's Britt pulling everything behind the scenes?
I would love it. I mean, because then once again, it shows there's no bigger outside of Cole doing it himself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Outside of Cole doing it himself, there's no other bigger surprise or bigger blow to MJF than his best friend's lady doing it. And then you could even spin that more to where ultimately I think Cole will sign with Britt. But you could do this where if Britt is the reveal, right? You could have Cole be like, I didn't know this, that, and the third. He's not on board with it. And he has to make a decision to ultimately. So you can get more run. You can get more treads out of that storyline tire, right?
Yep.
But I definitely don't think now it's going to be Cole right away. It could be Cole by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely the shit they're doing with Wardlow, I have no idea. I don't understand, because he's that, like, MJF hasn't even said your name in a promo in anything at all. He's
been talking MJF, and MJF, to your point, I guarantee MJF's heard it over, and he's ignoring him.
Right. Well, that's where that's so once again we talk about things that we feel like they're doing better in AEW and things that still don't make sense, because I don't know how that makes sense for Wardlow. I don't understand how Wardlow wasn't in the Continental Classic. You have now, once this Continental Classic is over, and they're getting 3 titles. They're getting the Continental title, they're getting the ROH World title, and they're also getting the NJPW Strong title. How Wardlow wasn't involved in that, but you got Jay Lethal and who's the other one from the blue bracket? Jay Lethal and Briscoe. Briscoe got his first points, but Daniel Garcia in the blue bracket has 0. He's lost every match. He's mathematically eliminated. You mean to tell me we couldn't find a spot for that in Wardlow? You see what I'm saying? So it's just kind of one of those things. But
because I can almost see it, because it's to protect Wardlow in a sense. Because I'm pretty sure Tony wants Wardlow to be one of those top tier talents of his. He wants him to be his Batista, his Brock Lesnar, but he doesn't want Wardlow to lose right now. So putting him in the Continental Classic, you would almost have to, I would say, almost have to have Wardlow win the whole thing.
Right, but that's what I'm saying.
But you could have Wardlow lose without losing, because, like, look at right now. You have the semifinal match in the gold. What is it? The gold bracket, right?
It's a 3-way now.
It is a 3-way now. You could have easily done that with Wardlow and just have Wardlow not get pinned and the other person win, a typical triple threat match.
But here, and the only reason, like, I would caveat to what you just said, or challenge what you just said. Caveat's the wrong word, but I would challenge what you said about the only reason why Tony would need to book Wardlow like that is because he didn't protect his ass in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
If you would have protected the character better in the first place, you would have room to do this now. And also, Moxley's in the tournament, who has been 3-4-time AEW World Champion. He's held almost every single title in your company. And I'm saying he's made whatever, but the reason why I said Wardlow could do this is because of, if you'd have gave me a Wardlow Swerve final, because remember, once again, it's the Continental Tournament, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting 3 titles. You're all like Wardlow's outside of, so glad he's walking away from the TNT thing, right? Whoever wins this is going to be the champion of 3 straps. 3 belts. I know Vince hates that word. And that's the one thing I don't think is being talked about enough. Obviously, when they do the tournament matches, they have all 3 belts out there. The Continental title is still covered up. But like from Wardlow to come from TNT title to that, and here's the thing, it's the ROH World Championship. So then you are the world champion of a brand, of a promotion, not just no piss poor TNT title. So, I mean, I think it should be Swerve based on who's in the tournament. But if Wardlow was in the tournament, I would have said Wardlow.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But this whole where they're going with him and Max, I'm gonna be the one to take you down. Like, you're just gonna be a footnote. And then after we get Samoa Joe, if in January or February's pay-per-view, if we get MJF versus Wardlow, MJF is not losing to Wardlow. So what is the point? You see what I'm saying? So, all right, but I digress. That's why I don't think the devil is Wardlow. I can see the devil being Britt. I would think that would be next level storytelling if they do. Mm-hmm. But I have a feeling that they're going to give everybody what they suspected is going to be. It's going to be Adam Cole. And then it makes sense for it to be Britt because Britt has forged a relationship with Strong in the Kingdom.
Correct.
So it's going to put Adam in a tough spot because it's like, all right, fuck, everybody that I used to mess with is trying to do this for me to get me to a spot. I'm still to hold on to this friendship. Do I be selfish or do I be you know what I mean? So you can see that confliction there, right? That's his built-in storytelling. So it's weird. It's weird. Anthony Ada says, I would like Wardlow in the embassy or Don Callis family. I mean, Don Callis family got powerhouse. You know what I mean? I would love to see, I don't know. I would like to see him more in the embassy, but then I don't know. He's a better talker than Brian Cage, I can tell you that. But yeah. Brian Cage looks like $1 million and can't talk for shit. I don't understand. But I don't know, man. Whatever you think of Wardlow, he shouldn't be doing what he's doing right now, in my opinion. It's not from an in-ring perspective, but the vignettes, the promos, and all that. You're worried about somebody who's not worried about you. Mm-hmm. At all. You just seem like the vengeful ex-girlfriend that you can't let go. You know what I mean? And I don't like that look for him. But to get into the Continental Classic, that's the next on our agenda. I don't like having guys in the tournament on both sides that are getting goose eggs. I don't see the point for it. I feel like the wrong way.
This Continental Classic, it's in a sense could be good, but for AEW, but the fact that you're introducing a new title,
a new mid-card title again, once again,
you could have easily just said, "Hey, Eddie, both your titles are going to be on the line in this Continental Classic. It's just a tournament, and I think everybody would have been fine with it." Mm-hmm. But the fact that you're introducing a new title, You're adding 2 more titles. To your point, now somebody's going to be a Triple Crown champion all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And looking at it, it's like gold bracket. In order to see who determined who's going to the finals at World's End, we now have a triple threat because we had ties on people's wins losses.
Right.
Because per the rules, where's it at? Wrestlers are tied on points. The tie is broken by their head-to-head results. If there's a tie for either of the top 2 spots, which cannot be separated by head-to-head results, the wrestlers concerned will all progress. So, here we have freaking Swerve only lost once. Jay White lost once, and you had Moxley lose once, which means, hey, we now have a head-to-head 3-way challenge.
Right.
And it's like, does Eddie Kingston, he still kind of got a shot at trying to keep his titles. He's got to win his match. He's got to win his match against Andrade El Idolo. He wins that match, and then you have another triple threat.
So Idolo has 9. Danielson has 9. I'm just thinking at the top of my head. Danielson has 9.
Correct.
Kingston has 6. And Claudio has 6.
And Brody King has 6.
They may do a 4-way over there then.
Yeah,
because Danielson's already at 9. So if Claudio beats him, he's at 9. Yep. Who's Brody going against?
Brody is going against.
Is he going against Kingston? So that's he's at 9.
No, yeah, I was about to say, yeah, Claudio's at 6, Eddie's at 6. So basically, if Daniel Garcia could win,
which he's
got 0 points, which we know probably will not happen. He eliminates Brody King.
Okay.
If Claudio wins, that gives that puts him in a tie for potential, like you said, maybe a fatal 4-way if Eddie Kingston wins.
Right.
Now Danielson could win, be 12 points. There's your first semifinal entrant. Kingston wins. Now we've got a different story.
Who's Kingston facing? Andrade
El Idolo.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be Kingston. It's going to be Kingston. It has to be a 4-way because I think it's going to be Kingston.
No, if Danielson wins,
right? He won't because you can't have the biggest thing is
you can't have a 12-pointer versus 2.
Because you can have a 12-pointer, right? So Danielson he's in the finals, but then you're going to have a 3-way match between Idolo, Kingston, and Idolo and Kingston and Brody.
No. These last sets of matches to determine who's going to the semifinal match of the blue bracket. That semifinal match is then determining who goes to the final match at World's End.
So is the gold bracket one round ahead of the blue bracket already?
Yes. Okay. Because gold bracket is dynamite wrestlers. Blue bracket is
collision
wrestlers. So they're going to be ahead.
Okay.
So basically, this week's matches, I think it's this week. No, December 23rd. Oh yeah. Tomorrow night's collision matches are going to determine the semifinal match for next week.
But that's what I'm saying. So they're saying so what you're saying is semifinal. Semifinal is the bracket final. If I'm understanding it correctly, because what they're considering the final, which takes place at World's End, is the final match between the winner of each bracket. So next week, on next week's Dynamite, next week's Collision, you're going to have the semifinal, which is the gold final and the gold bracket and the blue bracket final. So that's what I'm saying. So if Danielson's at 12, they booked themselves into a like. So if you really crunch down the numbers, you know how this is what's going to happen.
We're going to get a fatal 4-way.
Either that or you're going to get Idolo versus Danielson, which I think is piss poor because then Kingston loses his titles without even really being beat in a single match.
But it's all because he lost. I think it was his first round.
He lost the first match. But then he's also banged up too. So if you have Danielson going over Claudio, you have Idolo go over Kingston, then you have Idolo versus Danielson. I think I think the final will be Idolo versus. I think Idolo make it. Andrade makes it out of the blue final, out of the blue bracket, and I believe Swerve should make it out of, because Swerve makes the most sense.
Yes, no, Swerve. This is Swerve's tournament. Swerve should win this whole damn thing.
Because not only just for the fact that I think he's the hottest right now, but his Mogul Embassy already has the ROH trio titles. So you have a reason for him to be within ROH.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? Nana is from ROH. It makes too much sense because we can't just, once again, they're having a tournament because of the Continental Classic, but at the end, you have all these other things that go along with that, right? So that's where I feel like this makes the most sense because, okay, then you have the tie for the ROH title. Yeah, he's getting the Continental title. NJPW Strong title, it is what it is. It's there, right? So, I get it, but I mean, listen, you can't have him keep losing. We all saw, right? This will kind of lead us into to this week in wrestling, right? We'll start with Dynamite because we're on AEW. We all saw one of the biggest moments of this week's show was that interaction when MJF went to go knock on the door and they said Mogul Embassy and Swerve and Nana came out, shut the door, Swerve came out. That 5-6 minute interaction where they're talking about the story on the road, how MJ used to be the driver, where they're supposed to be at in the yard, this, that, and the third, and the spec. For when Swerve said, I don't try out, I sign contracts, to MJF saying, well, if you look around here, I'm your world champion, so how about a little respect? To where then the door opens up, you got all the Mogul Embassy standing right there, and Samoa Joe comes save him. But that 5 to 6 minutes, that kind of gave you the rub, like, okay, like this could be something here, and you don't know what it's going to be. So that's kind of one of those things, right? Like, has this elevation of Swerve these last 3 or 4 months, has that thrown a wrench in the plan to get to Cole versus MJF? Do you think right now, if AEW put MJF versus Swerve for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship, you see what I'm saying? Like, you see the dilemma that they put themselves in. It's a good problem to have.
It is, but I don't think it throws a wrench into their plans because I don't think the fans would be somewhat behind Swerve, but I think they'd still be more behind MJF than they would Swerve.
But then at the same point, if you do that point and you have MJF go over, what does it do to Swerve's push? So see, I feel like at this point,
they're putting all their marbles in one basket, and it's overflowing.
Right. It's overflowing, and it's also you're putting so much emphasis on. This is where we talk about where Tony sometimes doesn't protect the talent. Like right now, I feel like Swerve needs to be protected. Swerve needs to be protected because I don't think you're going to lose that steam, right? What up, El Jefe? Tom Arnold, President, CEO of A2D Radio, the thing that makes this train go. I think Anthony Aiden says Andrade is going back to WWE after his contract is up because his wife is there and his friends are there. When does that contract run out?
Exactly.
When is that? So
my thing though here is, I think, and I could be very wrong on this, but I feel like this Continental Classic was made for Swerve. It was made to kind of keep him out of the world title picture for now, because of the plans going on. And to your point, Swerve's kind of throwing a wrench in there. Tony. Normally, Tony's all about revealing that belt, but he sure as hell ain't revealed that belt yet.
No, he hasn't. And we got a comment about Lee Grimes says MJF is the man, modern day Piper. Here's the thing. That's true. It is. Piper didn't need the title. I'm with you on everything. MJF would be MJF even if he didn't have a title.
Yeah.
Whatever MJF is involved in, I think will be a huge storyline with AEW. And
title or no title.
Exactly. Where I think now MJF honestly is bigger than a title. Right?
It's like, look at the ROH tag team titles. They're staying relevant with MJF being only him. because his partner is out. And I mean, what other time have we seen this happen for at least to go on this long?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think
Rory Anthony. I can't say the last name. Are we soccer fans? Don't mean to change the subject. I do. I don't follow closely.
I don't watch soccer. Sorry,
I don't follow closely, but I could dip my toe in the water with a little soccer. But go ahead as you were, sir.
Yeah, you know, I forgot what I was going to say.
So you heard soccer and running, and it fucked you all up.
Oh yeah, because fat man don't run, baby. You see this fat man run, you need to run. That means bad things happening. Woo!
A storm is coming, bitch. All right, but now, we were talking about you were saying that Swerve, the tournament was made for Swerve, made to protect them, to keep them away out of the world title picture for right now. So think about that. We're gonna pay some bills real quick. We'll come back on the other side. We'll finish this week in wrestling. We'll do a little run in, and then we'll get everybody out of here back with their families in time for the holiday. All right. So this is In This Very Ring on ATD Radio. We're gonna pay some bills. We'll be right back.
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat john. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My Nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
As always, I want to thank you all to our ATW sponsors, Carlino's, Royal Billiards, and also Hats.com. Check them out everywhere. RoyalBilliards.com, Carlino's, you can get your food. You can get their food delivered to you. Hats.com, promo code Philly, 15% off. It is the winter time now, but the thing that's been the second official day of winter. So it is here. Protect the head. Pause. But pause.
I don't feel it. It's a brisk 61
you're in Texas where they do that little wrestling thing down there. But no,
damn Skippy.
So we'll leave it there with AEW. We want to get a little bit about Raw. Raw was wrong. Man. I think it was a good show. Gunther, Miz, obviously the work rate of Gunther. New women's tag team champions, welcome. I think Chelsea Green deserves a little push. I like Piper too. Piper has her own thing, but I think it was time. I mean, the Cody and Nakamura thing. And what was your biggest takeaway and standout from Monday Night Raw?
I think I fell asleep. No, I'm sorry, I didn't fall asleep. I watched about halfway through. Hold on, let me see if I can find out where I started at, because Monday night I'd come home. I've been on vacation all week.
Jesus, you actually took some time off, huh?
I know, right? I actually finally had some time off to take, so I took it.
Okay. If not mistaken, I think we opened up with Truth versus JD.
I had heard about that segment, and I kind of laughed at it.
And then Truth is supposedly now in Judgment Day, and then JD's out.
That's just. I saw the segment afterwards where they're joking with JD, telling him, "No, you're in." I had a good laugh on that one.
Yeah. And I think from there, I want to say, was it Jay versus
Ludwig Kaiser?
And Jay got over. And I think
now the match I did watch that I did like was the main event of the Judgment Day versus the Creed brothers. When I say banger of a match, I'm talking double banger, baby, because that match, the Creed brothers were fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Julius is he's I honestly, and this is very hot take-ish right now. Very hot take-ish, right? I don't know where Brutus is going to go. I don't. I think Julius is so good. Between now and Mania, I understand they want to do Brock. I would love to see Julius versus Gunther for the Intercontinental title. We all wanted it to be Gable, right? For that wrestling style, things of that nature, wanted to be Gable. But Julius is the same thing in a much bigger package.
I don't think they want to split him up that soon.
I said very hot take-ish. I led with that. But you could make me believe Julius Creed could be the one to take.
Oh no, you definitely could make me believe he could be. He'd be the one.
Yeah,
but I feel like Triple H is not one of those ones to make certain tag teams. I know he'd do it otherwise to others, but certain tag teams he's not going to break up that soon. Like Vince would have been like, "All right, I'm done with you, but I still want to play with you. Come with me."
I hear you. I definitely get that. That ideology. It's just you sometimes, but you got to hit the button on what you have, right? And we're talking
that double Brutus bomb though during the Brutus bomb one, and then later on the second. I'm like that second one. I thought they had it. I was rooting for them to win this match, and it's just like you didn't deliver.
It's like, when's the last time WWE had a tag team come in like this strong, this fast, and this already had a concept of wrestling from the collegiate level? Like, this is almost like if they would have kept Brock and Shelton as a tag team, the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. This is what I felt like this would have looked like, right?
Yep.
And then out of that, Brutus is Shelton, and Julius is Brock in that situation where you can just kind of see the elevation of where they're going to go, right? I'm trying to think what else happened. I mean, once again, the Miz versus Gunther match that always delivered. There's a match I'm missing. And I'm not looking at anything. I'm trying to recall off my head. It was the match after Miz versus Gunther, after the women's tag team. There was another match before the main event.
Well, they had the Seth Rollins Drew McIntyre segment
where he Drew left him laying. Yep.
They had Ivar versus Akira Tozawa. With Ivar, of course, squashing the hell out of him.
Right.
Poor Akira. Let's see. Nakamura's poem. The second match of the night was Gunther. The Nia Jax Becky promo. R-Truth versus JD.
That led off tonight.
That was it.
That was it. So Dynasty, real quick, he says, whoa, don't disrespect Shelton like that. I agree with you. And this is not to say Brutus can't be that. When I'm talking about the parallel of where Shelton's career went, where Brock's went, and what they were when they came in together.
Yep.
They're both going to be Hall of Famers, right? Brutus could still have that same longevity, multi-time Intercontinental title, multi-time United States title, sometimes can get in the World Heavyweight title picture, whatever it may be, whatever brand. But you can clearly look at right now, just right now, right? Julius can do things in the ring that, I mean, the dude did 7 kip-ups with no hands, 20 minutes into a match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's doing the leap from the mat to the top. Like he's a bigger angle. Now he doesn't have the personality yet. He hasn't had an opportunity to have that shine through, right? So we have to see it, but just kind of just looking at it from just right now, just from what we've seen, the small sample size, and kudos to them because a lot of times like tag teams especially get caught up from NXT and they get lost. But and then
that match also set up for day one, Rhea Ripley versus Ivy Nile. Ivan Isle showing off a bit of that strength by
Right.
taking out Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, for sure. I can. So I guess at that point, Dynasty says it's more Sean than Marty, in my opinion. But agree to disagree.
That's bad.
I think Brutus is better than Marty, though, man. Already, like Marty, and here's the thing. This is this kind of show. People really, I don't know how many people know this. Vince was sold on Marty, not Sean.
Yeah,
he wanted what Sean, the push Sean got. That was for Marty. And boy, did we ever dodge a bullet?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that because who's to say, things could have been different had he actually pushed Marty.
I mean, have you heard Marty talk and his ideology on certain things? I don't think that would money and fame just would have made that dude worse.
Very true. You know what? Yeah, that's true.
That money and fame would have made that dude worse. Anthony Ada says Jade Cargill already got a loss. LOL. Are you saying she has a loss or she's got lost in the shuffle with everything that's going on? Let me know.
She probably lost in some live event in NXT.
Well, no, I mean, if it's an actual physical loss, okay. But if he feels like she got lost in the shuffle, I can see that too. I can see it, bro. Like
she's not lost in the shuffle. If you listen to Triple H's, interview after I think Survivor Series, they're it's all about timing. They're waiting on the timing. They're waiting. They're still letting her train. They want her. I wouldn't say be perfect, but they want her to be comfortable enough to be able to put on a really good match.
Right. No, so Dynasty, I hear what you're saying. He says, I don't believe that. That's because by the time it got to that point, Marty already had fucked it up. By that time, 92, Marty already had messed it up. Like that split, like when they did that was all right. I gotta go in a different direction. This is a pivot. Because Vince already said like, nah, this dude may not have it all. But no, so to get back to Jade real quick, I can kind of see the loss in the shuffle because of this. Now with Charlotte being out for 9 months, it presents an opportunity, and we saw the rumors starting to come up.
Yes,
that the door has been open again for Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks, to rejoin WWE. So these things are happening to where this roster may be the strongest it's been since the Attitude Era, right? Since early Attitude Era, where you have this much talent,
especially for the women.
Only have 5 hours of WWE programming to put into this shit, right? But if Sasha returns as well, not saying Jay's gonna get lost in the shuffle, but it may just change the timeline for her a little bit, right? But once again, these writers are very creative. They get things that they have time, and they
and they're already
A, B, C, and D, right?
And they've already started signing, these women to big contracts. Charlotte just got her big ass contract. They're calling it an extension, but it's a big ass extension. She's getting her.
Well, what was the numbers on that? I saw that. I never got the numbers.
I don't think I got the numbers either, but I heard it was a lot plus a bus.
Yeah, so that's probably why Andrade is coming back, because he's like, yeah, my wife is not coming back here anytime soon.
And then, of course, they just re-signed Bayley to another long-term contract.
Okay.
They're working on trying to get, Seth and Becky. Becky, being the third. And if they get Sasha, then, all 4 horsewomen signed to long-term contracts, then holy crap,
Right.
Like, they're really trying to keep their women's division beefed up.
Yeah, because
the women that are there, but they still want to keep it beefed up just in case something goes wrong. Because
Tripp sees the value in the women and how they can actually carry a show or carry a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? If done right. So NXT. I'm trying to think any takeaways I missed from that.
So the big takeaway, at least in my eyes, would be the controversial ending to the main event. The story, and it's a storyline they're going with this.
Yeah, because that there's no way he legit got hurt on that.
No, he didn't. They're doing the storyline with Ridge Holland, and a lot of people are upset because they feel like the storyline's insensitive to some of the people that Ridge Holland's hurt, especially Big E.
I wouldn't have got that from that. I don't.
He's dropping people on his heads. He's hurting. He's hurting people. Potentially permanently injuring them. A lot of people are upset with the storyline. They don't think the storyline should be a thing.
It wasn't done in good taste.
Correct. But even Rich Hollins, on NXT, he's going, "Why is this happening to me again? Why me?"
Right. I mean, but that's the storyline. People forget back in, I want to say 20, may have been like right when they came back in 2021. Ridge Holland, he didn't used to wrestle with knee pads, folks. See, he used to be bare knees, and he took a dive. No, somebody did a suicide dive on him on the outside, and he tried to brace it, and he blew his knee up. I remember that. So he got hurt doing the same thing. So I mean, he's definitely not obviously out there to try to hurt people, whatever. But
Correct.
It makes. Here's the thing. Storyline wise, it's the perfect cop out to then now you have Trick versus Mello for the NXT title. If they're gonna if you're gonna strip it off of Dragunov due to injury, it sucks for Ilya, but the Trick versus Mello storyline, everybody wants to see it. Everybody wants to know who attacked him. You already know my thoughts on it. Where I hope that they would go the route where Trick set it up all himself.
Well, I mean, now we don't have to worry about the U.S. title tournament and Trick Williams, so they can stick back to, Trick Williams. Not Trick. I'm sorry, Carmelo Hayes.
Right, because he lost to Kevin Owens tonight. Yeah, so he's out of the tournament.
Last week, right after we went off the air, I saw those results and went, well, there went our discussion up in the air.
I like Cora Jade coming back.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Carmen Petrovic sticking around.
Nikita Lyons getting coming back with a victory.
Yep, it's almost like you talked about earlier, right? With the main roster, the women division getting beefed up. Now all of a sudden with the returns of storyline and creative having something for Cora Jade, Nikita coming back. You still got Jade out there. You got Carmen Petrovic. You got Tiffy. So now here you got with Roxanne. So like it's almost like, oh man, well now we gotta stop like a stacked women's division again at NXT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gallus returning. Whatever Joe Gacy is doing under the ring. So a lot of things are starting to form to make sense. Obviously, you got the breakout tournament. It was good to see Lexis King, Brian Pillman Jr., BPJ in the ring, actually in the match. Like the finisher a little bit. I thought the kid he was wrestling against pretty good. Obviously, some more work. But the Tavid Diggs, the one who won the other match now in the semifinals in the breakout, that he's kind of surprised me a little bit. It was pretty good. I still don't like Dragon Lee using the Destino. If you Naito from NJPW, that's his move, dude. Like it doesn't look right because Dragon Lee floats over so fast when he does it. Like it's almost I don't know how Naito does it, but it's almost like it develops, you know what I mean? So, and that's the other thing we're not even talking about right now. This kind of main roster again, Okada, like he's still going to be a free agent. He hasn't made his mind up. So if WWE gets him too, and this is the thing, this is what it was already. AEW thought it was a competition already, right? But now with TKO, with Endeavor behind them, their pockets are even deeper now to go get talent. They're trying to make these shows as spectacles as big as they can be. I don't think I missed it. I don't think I missed any too much. I know Daisy Jane and Thea Hell took on Kiana and Izzy Dane.
Lost that match. Tiffany Stratton lost her match, but now
she was disqualified. I like that side of Tiffany though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, she dumped the trash on Fallon. She pretty much just took it to her. She lost her cool. I like that. That's that different side, the aggressive side of Tiffany that we haven't seen before. You know what I mean? So I like it. NXT overall was decent. And then obviously tonight it was taped last week, so you can see the results if you wanted to find them. AJ Styles in the all black. Somebody had said something about like he was in all black like his 2012 Impact. Did he have a stint where he did that, where he went rogue and Impact and all black?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
I don't know that he wore. I don't remember if he wore all black, but he did a rogue stint. He wasn't a heel. He wasn't really a face. He was that in between. He had
right?
What the hell was that music? It wasn't his Get Ready to Fly. It was that gunslinger music. Can't remember the name of it, but yes, he did.
Almost like America's Most Wanted-esque.
In a sense. Let me see if I can find the name of it real quick.
I mean, and all that because he felt like he was wrong. I heard bits and pieces of the promo. What
Evil Ways.
Okay. Where he kind of talked about LA Knight saying like, "Hey, like you only in this spot because I got hurt."
Yeah.
So you hold some resentment to that. So maybe that's the reason why. And then I think they're having a triple threat match next week to determine the number one contender for Roman.
And next week is day one. They're pulling AEW and doing pay-per-views on,
right.
Live shows because Raw's getting. What was Raw getting?
Raw's getting Seth versus Drew.
Well, no, Raw's getting New Year's Evil or whatever.
No, so Raw's on New Year's Day.
Okay, they're getting day one.
Yeah. So, but no, SmackDown's getting the New Year's Eve thing.
Yeah.
New Year's Eve thing because they're 2 days before. Yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, this is for the set up the Rumble. So it's almost like Raw they haven't started their path to set up the Rumble where SmackDown has, because SmackDown, they're doing
New Year's Revolution.
New Year's Revolution. So SmackDown setting up their New Year's Revolution, which then is setting up Royal Rumble because obviously we have preliminary matches where Raw's just like, hey, this is what we're doing day one, and then we'll figure out what our build of Royal Rumble is going to be from there. But I mean, overall, strong week for wrestling programming. Overall, Dynasty. I want you to before we move on to the run-in real quick, unless you have anything else you wanted to add.
No.
Okay, so I'm curious to hear Dynasty 215, who's in here every week, one of our loyal listeners and followers, where you went back to your poll question. You said you disagree, but you would explain more. So if you can just kind of elaborate on that a little bit. I want to talk about in a run-in the Sasha rumors. Where do you think she would fit in? And then also the critically acclaimed success that we're hearing from Iron Claw, the Von Erich story. Real name, I think the real life name in was it Atkinson or Addison? I think it's Addison. I want to say it's Addison.
Not sure.
So, but definitely welcome. I almost feel like Sasha's home if she comes back. I definitely will be down for her to return because once again, it just in all this talent, it just begets competition. Competition is this breed. Atkinson. Okay. Atkinson. So I'm definitely down for her to come back. I think she would do more. I say do more. I think the opportunity is prime for her right now, right? I mean, you got Sasha, you got Bianca, like you said, you got all this talent coming back. And like you said, like Chrome always says, he says the WrestleManias that ends in 5s and the WrestleMania ends in 0s, they always are bigger. They are always bigger. They always treat them as such. So definitely down for that. Anthony, actually, man, they're like from what I've heard with the Iron Claw movie, I heard it was done really, real well. Heard it had some little bad spots, but as far as like Zac Efron's portrayal, and then the kid from Shameless, but he's also from a series on Hulu. His performance is really good. Where it's like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb isn't everything, but I think both of those are in like IMDb is 8 out of 10 and Rotten Tomatoes is 91%. And they're talking about getting like Oscar nominations for these performances. So to see wrestling put on that light and that pedestal is always is a great thing, right? Mm-hmm. Poor 25 was bad outside of Shawn Taker. It was. And Shawn's my goal. I still, even though I know what the ending was going to be, I still didn't, the mark in me didn't agree. Didn't agree. But And I think there was no CM Punk on this Raw.
No CM Punk this Raw.
No CM Punk this Raw. So, but yeah, no, Iron Claw is good. It's crazy that to the point where I started seeing things and I started doing like little YouTube dives where I was watching stories like 30-minute videos on YouTube where they were talking about like how they were outside the ring, how they were super stiff, everyone outside of Kerry. And they said Kevin Von Erich, like, listen, you had to have your head on the swivel, but you had to brace yourself because he was going to work you stiff. And then I don't know how they portrayed in the movie, but the real life, Kerry Von Erich, most people know, if you know that he only wrestled with one foot. At some point, the story was he was going up an embankment, from what I heard, on a 4x4. The police were coming, so he tried to go down it. And back in those days, the actual lever to the quad went through his ankle, so they couldn't save it. And he was, from that point forward, when he was wrestling, you couldn't tell, but he was in so much pain that he was writing bad scripts. Went in front of the judge in the local Texas area. I think Denton County is where they were from. And the judge was like, "I'll give you a pass, but if I see you here again, then it's going to be a different story. I don't care what your last name is." Obviously, the pain continues. Anything with any type of addiction, try to cope. But ultimately enough, he ended up in the courtroom again. And that's when, this is probably a couple days before he took his own life, because the judge was like, "Get your affairs in order. Like, I'm putting you away for a while." You know what I mean? Yeah. And then, because I think that he shot himself in the chest too. Like, it wasn't the head. Like, he shot himself in the chest. Like, I don't know. It's just crazy. I want to see the movie because from what I heard and what I've seen.
Same here. I definitely want to see it myself.
You know what I mean? It's like the Fritz Von Erich was he was a piece of work. Like, those boys didn't have to do that. But it's almost like just the bad luck that followed the family and what they could have been. You know what I mean? And then obviously, like David Von Erich was the one that was so I don't know. I want to see it, but it's definitely a good movie. It's good. It's so many wrestling biopics, or so many, and I hope if this is successful, right, from a box office success and a mainstream success, there's more stories that can be told.
Yes,
in this fashion, and given this type of budget, given this type of script, so that way they get the kind of attention and get the light shed on them that they deserve. But I really don't, man. Listen, dude, I don't have, outside of that, you shopping, you on vacation. I'm happy to see it.
Next week, is end of year. We should be doing something end of year related, best of, worst of kind of stuff. So stay tuned for that.
I think Chrome is going to be an In This Very Ring lazy booking mashup. A lot of awards going out. I believe on next week's show, kind of wrap the year up. The year was good for wrestling.
Yes. Lots of great matches, lots of bad matches, lots of,
Yeah. A lot of surprises.
Yep.
Last year, this time, there was a lot of surprises going AEW's way, and now they're coming back the other way.
Now that door just revolved right around.
Things happen, and Vince is no longer involved with WWE. You never thought you would see today, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy how so many people want to flock back now because Vince ain't there.
Yep. Well, I mean,
wonder why people left the first time.
Most people, it's just one of those things. But listen, man, everybody out there, have a very good holiday, whatever you celebrate. Merry Christmas to those who do. And just realize it's not about the gifts or the money, amount of the money that you spend on the gift. It's the gift itself and the thought that goes behind it, and spending time with your loved ones. Because some of us can't always do that with the loved ones we no longer have with us. So cherish the moment, cherish the time. That's all I got. Butter, do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. For myself, for the Butterman over here, for Ralphie in the back, for Rich, somewhere he's at celebrating his birthday, and everyone here at A2D, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. We'll catch you guys next week on In This Very Ring.